Hey folks, this is John Oakes here with Hankster's Hot Rods. Today in our Homer City location, we are about to go over our newest addition to our inventory, and that being the car sitting here right behind me. This car is a 1967 Pontiac GTO. It's been a little bit since we've had a GTO. This one here, just to give you a brief rundown on it, this is in fact the correct color for this car. Regimental red is what they would have called it back then. So again, it is the correct color. Now, as far as the drive line on the car, we do have a period correct 400 cubic inch Pontiac motor. We've got the 334 3-speed manual transmission, and we also have a GM 10-bolt POSI rear with 350 gear in it. As far as the wheels and tires, obviously you can tell those have been slightly upgraded. They gave it kind of a retro look to the car here. Keeping with the Pontiac theme, these are a year one wheel here. These are a cast aluminum wheel. These are the Pontiac Rally wheels here, but these are done in 17-inch. So again, just kind of a bit of a retro look. You can tell they've got the correct centers in them for the Pontiac wheels. And as far as the tires go, obviously a little upgrade there in tire. They're going with a little bigger 245/45 R17s on all four corners. That way, makes it super easy whenever it comes time to do any kind of tire rotations and so forth. You can do it because all four wheels and tires are exactly the same size and same name brand also. So we'll start our walk around here, going over the car. I'll try to point out everything that I can here while we go around the vehicle. So as I mentioned there, the red color is correct. You've got the steel GTO hood on the car, and we'll take a closer look as we get around to the front before we open it up for the engine. Like I said, wheels and tires have been upgraded. We've got the wheel lip moldings here done in the bright work. Those all look really good here, nice and straight, good and securely attached all the way around. Just really nice looking trim there around the wheel wells. The other trim that this car does have, it's going to be the rocker moldings down below here. Obviously at the front of it here where it starts, we've got those badges up here, the GTO badging. As far as the rocker panel strips go, not too bad here. They've got a few little dents and dings in them at the bottom, but again, that's bound to happen again with the road debris and so forth. As far as the rest, well, we've got chrome mirrors here. We've got them on just the driver's side here. It looks like the chrome finish on that round mirror is in great shape. The glass is in great shape too. All of the rest of our bright work here, which would be all of our molding around the windows, around the top side of the door, our drip rail moldings, down the quarter window here, and door handles, all of which in pretty good shape here. They all look to be polished up really good here. I really don't see any signs really of pitting and so forth. The drip rail moldings are nice and straight. And again, as I always do, I always like to feel through that rain gutter there per se, make sure that it's nice and smooth through there, and it is in fact nice and smooth all the way around. The glass, we've got our wing window, we've got our door glass, and our quarter windows. Looks like they're all slightly tinted, and no chips or cracks anywhere on any of the glass. That all looks very good. Now we'll open up our door and take a look at the interior. Again, nice black interior here. You got the black vinyl seat upholstery there, front buckets, the rear bench, all of which have all of the seat belts all included. Carpeting done in black with the wood grain trim. And of course, as I mentioned, that 3-speed manual transmission, that is in fact a Hurst shifter with the T-handle on top. It is factory radio. I think I already mentioned the factory steering wheel there too. too, and again, factory heater controls up there as well. Dash all looks to be in good shape from this side of the car. And as we back up and we look at things like our door panels here, door panels are in pretty good shape there too. Don't see any real rips or tears anywhere there. Even the armrest pad, no cracks in that. A lot of times you'll get that on these older cars just with the type of upholstery and so forth that they have. And then of course all of our weather stripping and our seals around the door edge here, down the quarter window, and including our weather stripping here on the door, all of which is all in good shape. There's no rips or tears, no chunks out of it. Rubber bump stops in the doors, all intact. So again, all of that's going to seal up very well. The other thing, as you can see, door shuts very nice. The other thing is checking all of our gaps and our elevations. Again, the gaps are very nice and tight, very uniform front to back on this car. And as far as the elevations, whenever you look at the quarter panels and the, well, I should say fenders and the quarter panels here in relationship to the door, all of that is right in line with one another. And again, body lines and so forth all match up. As we come back our car, again, more of those wheel lip moldings here, again, in very nice shape. And the wheels and tires, like I said, in great condition too. Of course, we've got the GTO badging here on the quarter panels. And then up here at our rear window, we can take a look at the glass. No chips or cracks in the glass. The brightwork, the molding all the way around is in really nice shape back here on the rear window, all securely fastened to and anchored down as it should be. And of course on the GTO, big car, big trunk. Again, that trunk lid, if we look at our gaps all the way around, very uniform on the trunk gaps. So again, this is fitting very, very well on the car. We come around to the rear of the vehicle, get our tail panel here. We'll look at our tail light lenses, the bezels around there, and all of our brightwork, our trim all the way around, again on the edge of that trunk as well as around the edge of the tail panel, all of which look to be in really nice shape here. No pitting there, nice and straight, polished up very well. No chips or cracks in the lenses, and again the bezels are in nice shape. Chrome rear bumper, not showing any pitting, no scratches, no cracks or anything in that either. That all looks good. And then also the GTO badging here on the trunk lid. Now we'll go ahead and lift the trunk lid on this, take a look inside. So the key does in fact work the lock. We raise the trunk lid up, of course the hinges and springs doing what they're meant to do, holding that up all on its own. The underside of the trunk done in the same red as the exterior of the car. It does include the decals here for your spare tire and your jack instructions. The little rubber bump stops are up there as well, all installed. All of your weather stripping here, all in nice shape, good and soft. And again, it meets right together in the center here. And all of your weather or your water channels or your rain gutters back here, all nice and solid, good and straight, gonna help direct that water right out the back of the car instead of inside the trunk. And as far as the trunk goes, very nice looking trunk floors here. Again, good and solid. There's no patching done back here, done in the black and aqua trunk spatter paint. And again, we do have a full-size spare with the jack and the lug wrench underneath. So that is our trunk. We'll close that up and that shuts nice and easy, and we'll work our way to the passenger side. Again, standing back here and looking up the side of the car, very, very straight down the passenger side as well. Again, we've got that matching GTO badge back here on the passenger side quarter. And then we'll just take a walk up to the actual door here. So again, we'll look at our doors here, the gaps to the back and the front, not too bad here. And the elevations are dead on this this side as well, with all of your body lines matching. All of our bright work, again, our drip rails, that quarter window trim, and as well as the trim along the top of the door and the quarter window here, all of that looks really good on the car. No pitting, nice and straight here for our drip rail moldings, and again, that rain gutter, nice and smooth. Same thing with our glass here. Again, no chips or cracks on the glass. Now it does look like there's a little rub mark here on the glass, probably just from the channel whenever you're rolling it up and down. But again, no chips or cracks here. Everything looks good that way. Door handle, same thing, looks really good. And we'll open up our door at this time. Take a look at the passenger side of the interior. Again, as we see here, doesn't look like there's any rips or tears in any of the seat upholstery. Again, that full-length center console with the wood grain trim. The dash from this side looks good as well. I don't see any cracks in the top of the dash. All of your weather stripping and seals, same condition as the other side. No rips, tears, or any pieces pulled out of it or chunked out. And you even have the rubber bump stops on this side. Same thing with our door weather strip here. And again, the door panel itself. Again, over here on the passenger side, it looks all good too. And again, no wear marks on those armrest pads, no cracks or anything in those. So that is all good. Door shuts easy again on this side, so that just kind of shows how well everything's adjusted. Do have an antenna up here on the top of the fender. It is not power, but you can raise it up. You can extend that. You just have to do it manually there to get a little better reception out of the radio. And then we'll come around to the front of our car. So the GTOs, I always did like the stacked headlight style here on the front here. The bezels, the actual headlights, the lenses and so forth, all in excellent shape. The bright work up front here looks really good with no pitting at all, no cracks in any of those lenses. Even your parking lights up here, those all look good. The housings and everything for those. The grille work is nice on this car too. Nothing broken, no cracks, nothing missing. Everything all looks good. Of course, we've got the GTO badging over here on the driver's side grille. And then down below our bumper, nice chrome on that too, not showing any pitting or any cracks or scratches. If we look up at our hood, of course, we've got the Pontiac arrowhead right in the middle of the front of the hood here. And of course, you can see that hood scoop there for our GTO hood. Again, this is a steel hood. This would have been the stock, GTO hood for it. Again, your gaps on the hood are nice and tight. Very nice fitting hood. As we come back to the windshield, again, we're looking for chips and cracks, and none of that on this car. The glass is all in great shape. Same thing here with our trim work all the way around the windshield, all securely anchored, good, all fastened down as it should be. And our wipers, nice set of wiper arms here, and again, a good set of blades to keep you safe if the rain would happen to come. So let's at this time go ahead and get our hood opened up here. There we go. And there we go. So again, the hood release and all the latches, those all function as they should. The underside of the hood here, you can see all of the correct hood insulation here, which is in great condition. There's no rips or anything in it, no pieces hanging down, and it's all securely anchored underneath the hood here. So that's all good there. As far as the engine compartment itself, done here in the black as it should be. And now we can kind of start to go over the engine. So starting at the top, obviously here for a little bit of dress up work on the motor, we've got the chrome air cleaner lid and base. Nice air filter element. Of course, you see that 400 4-barrel sticker there on the air cleaner. Underneath the air cleaner, we do have a Rochester Quadrajet 4-barrel carburetor. That is in fact the stock cast intake for it too. A nice set of chrome valve covers also with the breathers there, so everything vents as it should be. That's kind of your air fuel delivery. Now, as far as the ignition system goes, just kind of kept with the stock ignition system on the car. So you've got the point style distributor there. You got a factory style coil there also. And then for the exhaust, a set of stock cast exhaust manifolds. And then as we go underneath the car, we'll see that exhaust. It is a 2.5-inch exhaust, all full duals with dual turbo style mufflers on it. As far as the radiator goes, this is a Harrison steel radiator, which is in great shape here. We've got the full shroud here around the, I believe that's a 7-blade clutch fan here on the car. All of your hoses and so forth are all in great shape. The hose clamps themselves are in good condition too. Everything's all sealed up very nice here. Even the heater lines and so forth, those are, you know, no leaks whatsoever and all neatly done. Now this car is power steering and power brakes. It's all 4-wheel drum brakes, but it stops very well, and it does in fact have the emergency brake all hooked up and ready to go for you. Power steering, again, the lines and so forth all dry on the car, and the power steering functions very good too for this vehicle. Now, as we kind of started off with our brief synopsis of the car, basically it's got the 334 3-speed manual transmission there, and again, as we saw in the interior, it does have the Hurst shifter with the T-handle on it, and then that GM 10-bolt rear, the 350 gear with the POSI unit inside. So that's our walk around on the car. I usually will remind you folks out there that if you're not on our company website looking at this video right now, I always recommend that you go there and check it out. You'll see upwards of 100 photos of this car, inside, outside, underneath, everything, along with the video that you're watching right now. You're also going to see the retail pricing, the description, all the options and so forth, a nice write-up on the car. You'll see all of that right there. Also, any kind of accessories or parts that you may want to have added to it. We do all kinds of installations here. Just one quick one that I always come up with is usually these cars come in, they don't have air. So in this case, this one does not. So that might be something that you're wanting to add to it. So we do the vintage air kits. We can install those if you're interested in whatever installation it might be. Just let us know what it is. We'll be glad to get you pricing on parts and labor to get that installed. Also, we do offer enclosed shipping with the retail price of the car to anywhere within the 48 contiguous states. And also that retail price includes our Hankster's 3-month, 3,000-mile powertrain warranty. If you're interested in seeing how that works, reach out to us and we'll be glad to go over that for you. It's a real simple process if you would ever need to use that. But that is pretty much it for our walk around. Welcome back, folks. Here we are in the back with the 67 GTO up on the lift. So we're gonna go through this as we always do, pointing out to you everything we see underneath the car and going over the condition of those components. So first, after we get behind our front chrome bumper there, we've got our radiator that we always check out. So again, looking at the bottom of the radiator, it is all dry. Everything including the drain petcock, the lower radiator hose, and the hose clamps, all of that stuff all looks to be in really good shape underneath here. And of course, it's got the full shroud on the fan, and it is all intact. It's not broke or cracked or anything. All good and solid, so that's going to help pull the air through that radiator and keep things nice and cool for you. Now, right behind our radiator here, the next thing we come in contact with is the start of our suspension, which would be the sway bar. Now, this car does have the 1-inch sway bar, and the bushings at the frame mounts, as well as back here at the sway bar end links, those are all in good shape. They're not split or cracked or anything. They look really good condition, and again, that's going to keep this front end nice and tight whenever you're cornering. Should handle really, really good for you. Power steering on this car. So again, with that, we always check out the box, we check out the pitman arm, the drag length, and all of your tie rods and tie rod ends. And again, all of that stuff has been checked out, and whenever we look at it with our eye underneath here, everything looks good underneath here too. All of the tie rod ends all have the rubber dust boot covers on to keep that grease in, make those last a lot longer. And then as far as the rest of the suspension, the upper and lower control arms on the front end, these are the factory components, OE components here, stamped steel control arms. Again, ball joints look to be in good shape, all have those rubber dust boot covers. And then braking on this car. Now again, it is a power brake car, and it's drum brakes, all 4 wheels, although it stops very, very good for drum brakes. It even has the emergency brake all hooked up, plumbed, and working also on this car. If we come in now a little bit towards the center, we can start talking about some of our drive line here, mainly the motor and transmission. Again, we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here till we get to the back of the car. But as far as that motor goes, again, this was that 400 Pontiac motor. It is a period correct motor, but not the numbers match motor. The oil pan is nice and dry all the way around, even dry at the drain plug as well as behind that oil pan. No leaks or drips that we can see underneath here. The transmission, this is that 334 3-speed manual transmission. Again, anywhere that we have any linkages, anything at all, any covers, you know, sections to the case here that are bolted together, everything is nice and dry underneath here, including that output shaft seal. That's where that slip yoke slides in to the back of the transmission. That remains nice and dry back there also. As far as the exhaust system goes, we've got the 2.5-inch exhaust all the way back into a set of turbo style mufflers back there. And then of course it does have tailpipes on it. We'll get to that here as we get towards the rear of the car. And then we'll finish off with the wheels and tires. Obviously, you guys got to already see the better angle, I guess we'll say, of the wheels and tires by looking at it from our walk around video. But here we see them from the back sides. Again, these are new year 1 17-inch, the actual cast aluminum Pontiac rally wheels that they make for them. Very nice looking wheel. Again, you've already seen it from the walk around. Just kind of a nice retro look for it, using a modern size wheel and tire combination. And as far as the tires go, these are Milestar tires, 245 45 R17s, all 4 corners, which makes rotating tires very, very easy for you. Now if we come back a little further here, frame and the floors. The frame is in excellent shape here, nice and straight all the way back on both sides, good and square. And the floors, I don't see any patching on these floors at all. They look great underneath here. You can see all of your stamping lines and marks in the floors, which tells you that it is all the correct metal. All of the bracing is all present here too. So again, very nice underside to this vehicle. The drive shaft. This is a steel drive shaft. It is a balanced drive shaft, so that'll help eliminate any kind of driveline vibrations you might have. Universals have both been checked out on both ends. Everything is all in good working order on the car. As a matter of fact, that front universal on your slip yoke up there, that is greasable. On the back one here, I don't... yeah, the back one, oh yeah, the back one is greasable too. So you got the Zerk fittings on both of those, and that'll help you, make those last a whole lot longer. As far as the rear end goes here, we do have the GM 10-bolt rear here, POSI unit here in this differential, and it's a 350 gear. As far as suspension goes, well, you've got your stock control arms back here, both on the bottoms and the tops. It does have the extra bracing in here. I guess they would have considered this, I guess their traction bar, their OE or factory traction bar back in the day. So it does have that. So that's going to make that nice and stout back here as well. And the springs do have the airbags in them, or the helper bags in in there for the rear suspension, along with your shocks and so forth. And your shocks, all of your mounting hardware, the bushings and so forth, those are all in good shape too. The pinion seal and the rear differential cover are all in good shape and free of any leaks or drips also. So again, no wetness whatsoever back here, all good and dry. As I mentioned, with that exhaust system, you do in fact have the tailpipes here on either side. They do go up over top of that rear end housing, and they exit out the rear of the car right underneath the rear bumper. And then as far as the fuel tank goes, fuel tank, this is going to be your stock tank. It is in great shape. You don't see any dents or dings underneath here. Your mounting straps and all the hardware are in good shape. Fuel lines and such running back here, those are all nice and dry too. And again, as we can look at our trunk floor from underneath, what we do see of it here is in good shape, good and solid there. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the underside of our 67 GTO. So we're going to go ahead and get this off a lift here in just a moment and fire this engine up for you. But before we do that, again, just let me remind you guys out there that we are in fact an ATC trailer dealer. We've got multiple models right here on our lot, ready to be sold, ready to be used, to possibly put one of these nice classics inside and transport around also. If you're interested in a trailer, you can get to our car website and go to the inventory tab, click on trailer inventory. That'll get you there one way. And then the other way would be just to go directly to our website, hankstershaulers.com. And again, you'll get there the same, same site. It's going to tell you the prices, pictures, descriptions, options, all of that stuff for those trailers. So if you're interested, please go, hit us up with phone call, text, or email. And again, if you're one of our car customers, we'll definitely work with you on the pricing for that. With that said, let's go ahead and get this off the lift now. We'll go underneath the hood and fire that 400 Pontiac engine up.